My name is Tricia Brown, and I teach in the middle level program at the University of Vermont. So cultural responsiveness is really an approach to teaching that centers and values the cultures of your students. And by doing that, it gives you a chance to empower your students in terms of rather than just valuing what we value in our dominant middle-class white culture, but providing opportunities to really value and empower who they are, where they come from, and what's important to them. And so that's really what cultural responsiveness is. And so to do that in your classroom really means to know your students really well, and to build relationships with them, find as many opportunities you can to know your students as well as you can, and to give them voice. One of the things to be careful of, even when we're getting to know students, is that our own biases and assumptions about what we value and what is important in the information they tell us shows up. We make decisions unconsciously about which information is important and which information is not. And so by recognizing that, starting to notice what information do I value that my students tell me and what am I not really listening to, you can open yourself up to learning at a new level about who your students are. And that it means that you're considering what your students have told you and their voices in every decision that you make across your teaching and in your classroom. Well, because cultural responsiveness is really about knowing your students and incorporating their interests, personalized learning is a great way to realize cultural responsiveness, right? It gives opportunity for student voice. And so, again, one of the things you just need to make sure that you're doing when implementing personalized learning is to make sure that you're not valuing a certain set of work over another set of work, or a certain project or idea that a student has, right? Even if it might not align with what you think is the most important for students to learn. So that editing that we sometimes do of student work as teachers about what is worthwhile work can get in the way of really empowering students to bring who they are to the classroom. So yeah, it's really well connected in that personalized learning is a really good fit with cultural responsiveness, as long as we're really making sure that we are committed to checking our own bias in those situations. You know, even when we're trying to, as teachers, implement things that are innovative in our classrooms, such as really taking an innovative personalized learning approach where we bring in students' passion projects and ideas, we still have a lot of power in the classroom, and we're driving the decisions of what opportunities are available for students. And so in order to make that more equitable, by really opening up what's available for students, making sure that we're fully listening to what students are saying is valuable and important to them and what comes from who they are, that's going to increase equity. And understanding how sometimes in personalized learning, certain students and certain families have advantages in how they might seek out personal projects or flexible pathways where they get to go out into the community, right? They might have other resources beyond the school walls that give them more access to those things. And so by knowing that as well, being able to figure out how do I make sure that opportunities are available to all of my students and not just the ones that have those particular extra resources.
Well, that's about it. But is there anything else you want to say, like a closing phrase or idea?
Just that it's, you know, often students are disengaged in our classrooms, and we make the assumption sometimes and put that on them, that's, you know, they need to engage in what we're doing. And by providing more space for students to show up in their full selves, then that is really our work to engage them.